Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Matsuricon 2019 with my good pal, Cleveland legend, Mr. Quinton Flynn.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. Hi. I should talk quietly because I'm near the microphone. If I'm yelling, I should get away from the microphone. How are you, Cleveland? How are you?
Alrighty, so it's been a while since we last talked, and in that time frame, Kingdom Hearts 3 has finally come out. It was 14 years between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3. How was the fan response to it, and how much fun was it to come back and play for the organization?
Well, the fan response was amazing. They were thrilled, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it was great for me to do. I had wished that there was more for me to do. I enjoyed everything I did within the role. I actually got to improvise a little bit, which is nice because I'm comfortable with the character and they're more comfortable with me. And I will say this, I told fans this, there was a line that Axel had in one of the earlier incarnations where he said, "Why do I get stuck with all the icky jobs?" And now Icky came back up again in this script, and I looked at it and I said, guys, he's like late 20s, my guess, okay? He could be older, I'm not sure. I said icky when I was maybe 6. So can we change the word icky to something like nasty or, grotty or naughty? And they're like, yeah, nasty. I said, really? Cool. So that was exciting for me. Yeah. And, but yeah, the fans, they love it. And I think they like how Axel is developed and Lee and, which one is he? And
He's good, bad, evil.
Right.
Yeah, the whole moral question of the entire game series. He's dealing with it himself.
Yeah, and they said, you're kind of an anti-hero. I go, okay. Like, is he good or bad? I said, yes.
Alrighty, and following up with more game news, you got to jump back into League of Legends as Jin and do some more skins. What was it like going back and recording some new dialogue for those skins?
Great. I love playing Jin the Virtuoso. He's kind of evil, but there's fun in playing evil because someone who's evil doesn't know they're evil. They're just having fun. So I had a great time doing that, and it's interesting to see the skins. There are 3 different skins, and then they've even affected my voice greater. So it's interesting, and they did say there's going to be more to come. I don't know when, but there's more to look forward to.
Alrighty, for fans that play the game, I hope they love to play as Jin. Now, you're also working on an audiobook called Night in Jail, and you perform many, many voices throughout it. So how'd you keep up with that, and how was it doing the audiobook?
I did a lot of drugs. No, I not at all. The audiobook is called A Night in Jail, and it was written by my friend Heidi Swan along with her brother. And it was it's a true story about his life growing up on the streets. This is in his latter years after high school. It turns out he suffered from schizophrenia, and then he ended up getting into drugs and dealing and working and living on the streets. He eventually cleaned up. But this journey is something that's captured in this book that he co-wrote with Heidi. And you have me in this book playing the younger role of this a teen who goes into jail, and he gets stuck with an older kind of messed up, gritty, edgy, filthy street vermin,
Like voice and character.
Yeah, someone who's kind of like, what are you doing in here, kid? I'll tell you what it's about. Yeah. And the kid's just like, all I do is smoke pot. My parents should let me out. I didn't really do anything wrong. I'll tell you what's wrong. And so
the duality of being the naive child to the deep down on the streets, hardcore guy.
Exactly.
So it's that transition of his life over time into those 2 roles.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I don't want to give away the ending, but suffice to say, they go back and forth, and you're seeing the different perspectives of youth and maturity and abuse and use and fantasy from reality and what's distorted due to illness and what's distorted due to drugs. I also play the jailer. How you doing? Good old boy. And there's this crazy woman I play. Who's over here? And we had a lot of fun with her. I based her on a former employer of mine, who said to me back in the early 90s, she's like, Quinton, sit down. Now, do you want to work in production? Or do you want to be an actor? I wasn't very bright at the time, so I said, I want to be an actor. See, back then we didn't know that one could go into producing, as they've done in recent years, and then go, oh, I'm going to hire myself and my friends. Yeah. But back then, I kind of was, moonlighting with my acting job as I was in production. Yeah.
Well, this is how the world works and life works. So, again, you are a multi-talented person, and you have a lot on your plate, and you just decided to add more to it. Now you do singing gigs in the Viper Room, and now do a solo album. How's that going?
It's great. The Viper Room is legendary. It's in Los Angeles, California. At one point, Johnny Depp owned it many, many years ago, but it was around before Depp made it famous. And supposedly haunted, although I haven't run into any ghosts just yet. It's wonderful to be able to play there, and I'm there every Monday night at the Sunset Jam, which is hosted by Eric Himmel, and some of the greatest talent in Los Angeles from across the country and even around the world show up to collaborate and do covers together. And there's a lot of musicians who are writing in the city like myself. There are those who are studio musicians, guns for hire, those who are touring musicians, and it's an incredible creative community. So I love being a part of that, and it's the Viper Room, and it's only fitting I should be in the Viper Room because as a child in Cleveland I was on Romper Room, and really they're the same thing.
Kind of following into that, and about Cleveland again, is that you were now doing a road show as the Snozzberries. Tell us about that.
Well, what it is it's a show that's in development. There are three of us, R. Scott Vaughn, Cody R. Schmidt, and myself, Quinton Flynn. We play three characters, brothers who have the same mother, but different fathers. We're latchkey kids who grew up babysat by the television, and our fictional names are Winston, Scott plays Remington, and Cody plays Orville. I am the offspring of Mom's liaison with Paul McCartney on his Wings tour, and my brother Remington, who's a ginger, red hair, is the offspring of Mom and Danny Partridge from the Little Partridge tour that was done. And, of course, our brother Orville, who's got long hair and mustache, who looks like he's from, the Allman Brothers, or Grand Funk Railroad. He looks like a transport from the 70s. It turns out that he is the son of one of the Allman Brothers. Mom hooked up with them on tour, and we said, which one? And he says, well, all of them. So the concept is that we had been a successful group. We broke up. We've come back together. We've now reunited, and most of the songs we play are the songs that we were weaned on, which are animation songs, TV show themes, movie songs, and some of our own original songs. And we're creating it. We did a show in Cleveland just a few weeks ago live over at Arcade in Mayfield Heights, and we're developing it as a jukebox musical, something that we can tour with. And if not, then at the very least possibly sell to a Showtime or a Netflix. If not, then perhaps turn it into an animated series. All right. Yeah.
No, because I remember I saw it and I tweeted it out so that fans in Cleveland could check you out. So now, again, you have a really fun relationship with one of our other friends of the show, Mr. DC Douglas. What was it like having such a wonderful friend with him and also playing on so many different games and TV shows with him?
Oh, DC's great. And we've done a lot of conventions together and hung out a lot. And he's funny. He's funny as hell. Obviously, if you've seen any of his videos, you would know that. Yeah, and you mentioned that he took a video of the back of my head, I think, on an airplane, didn't he? Yeah, which I didn't know, and then he showed me later. And another time we were in Atlanta, and I was actually coming down an elevator, and he was just at the bottom for some reason shooting the elevator.
Yeah, it was DragonCon.
Yeah, DragonCon.
Yeah.
And I come walking out, and the camera's right in my face, and I just happen to go, ah! And people laughed, and they thought, what a great setup. I said, that wasn't setup, it was timing. It's just, yeah, there just seems to be some kind of bizarre synchronicity between the two of us. So we do have a wonderful creative friendship, and I love the guy.
Well, that's why we love him too. Now, again, you got to work on a title that we didn't get to talk about back then, and that was Arkham City Origins as the crime boss, Alberto Falcone.
Yes.
What was it like working on that game?
Directed in 2 different locations.
Oh, okay.
And I do remember Amanda Wyatt, I think, directing me. And I had headgear on with a light in my face so that they could, manipulate it in post. And then we recorded some additional dialogue at another studio, and perhaps it was Amanda again. And if it wasn't Amanda, then it might have been Margaret Tang. And if it wasn't, then it might have been Chris Zimmerman. I think it was Chris, but my memory is a little faulty for some reason. I don't know why. I just have holes. It's like Swiss cheese. But I remember that performance distinctly different because I was playing the psychotic part of Alberto Falcone.
And he starts going to his madness.
Yeah, and he's off his meds. And, this nurse contacts him and says, Mr. Falcone, you've missed your appointment, and he intentionally didn't show up. And I don't want to curse and get you lads in trouble. But he kind of goes off and he starts kind of stalking someone. Yeah.
We'll leave that up to anybody that hasn't played the game yet to figure out that story.
Exactly. But please don't stalk me.
Alrighty, now kind of wrapping things up here, we're going to tie in some Cleveland-related items.
Awesome.
Now, again, you and I are both from Northeast Ohio. I'm from Brunswick. You're from Cleveland.
But I was born in Cleveland.
Right.
Lived in Cleveland Heights till I was about 3.5, and then we moved out to Mayfield Village.
Still Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio.
Cleveland, yeah.
So you and I both love the Cuyahoga River,
Yeah.
and you as a child actually know the actual real story of how it became, unfortunately, polluted, and now you've seen it as an adult go from a child to an adult. You've seen it get cleaned up.
Yeah.
It now just celebrated 50 years of the EPA being in existence and helping clean up the Cuyahoga River. So what's it like for you to now also know that it's now a national park here in Ohio, and it's part of your hometown pride?
It's very exciting, although I secretly always hope to come home and drive along and see fire. And sometimes I wish the Human Torch were just kind of flying above it. But no, it's wonderful. It's exciting because, back the 70s were a very difficult time for Cleveland. And when I moved to Los Angeles in the late 80s and, onward, you'd say the word Cleveland and people would mock or make a joke. And I constantly had a C on my chest. It depends on the way it looks on camera. Anyway, I was like, Cleveland man. I was constantly defending our city, sports teams, entertainment, culture, our history, telling people about it. And every time they'd say something, I would go, well, have you been there? And they'd say no. And I'd say, well, then you don't know what you're talking about. I'd be like, hole. And, so yeah, it's thrilling, because it's gone through so many wonderful changes over the years. And obviously to see what happened with the tribe in the 90s and then the Cavs in the last few years.
Where can we keep you up online? And what message would you love to give to all the wonderful fans out there?
Well, online, you can follow me on Instagram, and that would be, at Quinton Flynn 1. Because I went to try and pick up my own name, but it was used. And there's one picture, no posts, no followers. It's a little baby's head. And I was like, what the? And so I even wrote them recently, and nobody responded. So some idiot.
That's your name.
Yeah, has my name.
So now you're Quinton.
So I'm Quinton Flynn 1. I don't know.
And then your Twitter is also Quinton.
Twitter is actually just Quinton Flynn.
Which I follow you on there.
Yes, thank you. It's at Quinton Flynn. Twitter, Instagram is at Quinton Flynn 1. I also have a Facebook fan page, which I encourage you to go to. Please don't go to my personal page.
Right.
Please don't ask to be my friend on my personal page. A lot of people do. If I don't know you, I won't do it. I don't mean to offend at all.
Yeah,
I don't have the room.
Yeah.
I mean, you're fine. I'm talking to you people out there. And go to the fan page because then it also notifies you when I'm doing conventions and projects and who knows, if you guys send me this interview and there's a way to post it, I can do that too.
Well, what would you love to say to all the wonderful friends that have been watching you, giving you support throughout all your games, TV, film, songs, everything?
My goodness, I love you so much. I just want to take this moment to say I can't see you, but I can feel you right here. No, I mean it's thrilling. It's great to always play with you guys and talk and connect. And so whomever's seeing this out here, God bless you. I love you all, and I'll just keep doing what I do. I thank you for your support because without you, where would I be? Hold on, let me check the script. Yeah, without you, where would I be? Without you, where would I be?
Quinton, thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful talking with you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, man. Love you guys. Yeah. Mwah.